This is the Throttle Out Show presented by Vixen Industries, the only show where monster truck drivers and mechanics come together to present what's happening in the monster truck community. It's the ultimate combination of torque, horsepower, and trash talk. And now for your hosts. First, straight out of the heart of Detroit Rock City, it's Kid Rock's neighbor and former driver of the BKT ride truck. It's Austin Spence. And the duo deep in the heart of Texas, it's the show owner and daughter of a man who conquered the industry for over 20 years. It's Harley Johnson, along with everyone's favorite Bryce Kenny lookalike, Austin Tweedy. So go ahead, fuel up, strap in, and remember, when in doubt, throttle out.
Big what's up to the best fans in motorsports. What's going on, everybody? It is so damn good to be back and doing the Throttle Out Show. We're live here at the Crew House. We're hanging out. We're kicking it. Coop won't be on the show with us tonight. He's busy. He's got a special dinner date. We hope he has a great time at his dinner date. And I really do. I hope it's great.
I do too. I hope his date makes it worth it. Hopefully his date, picks up the check a little bit. Cooper deserves it. I don't know. It's very special lady from what I heard.
Coop's been busting his ass, and he deserves a good time. So hopefully his date shows him a good time. And we got a very special guest joining us in just a minute. But damn it, man, it's just nice to be back. Everybody watching tonight, thank you so much for joining us, because this episode is not going to disappoint.
No, and honestly, just the sheer amount of support for how long we've been gone is just absolutely insane. I mean, there's so much we can recap and kind of go over. I know it looks kind of weird. I get the whole Luke Combs thing every time, but for whatever reason, you're dressed as Jason Aldean tonight.
Jason, come on, give me a break.
You ain't no George Strait, my friend. I'm sorry.
John Party.
That hurts.
You look more like a John Party.
But I mean, where do we even begin, man? I mean, it's been a roller coaster of a summer.
I mean, that's just it. It's been a roller coaster. There's been a lot on us at Triple P. We're all learning new spots here, learning how to drive, learning how to wrench, learning how to manage teams. There's a lot going on. Harley's just recently changed job positions working for the team. She's no longer a crew guy, a crew girl. Now she's
only lasted 2 months already, changing positions.
She said no more.
She's got her own. You got your own office now. Like, you're above us, and I mean, we have to actually like peek in. It's like, hey, Harley, are we on this schedule for this show? Like, we have to go through Harley now. So
Harley makes the schedule. She does all the receipts. I mean, she's big time now. She's definitely above us.
Yeah,
so
she's the owner of the show. She runs the Throttle Out. I mean, shoot, we need to start peeing you more, I guess. I don't know.
That'd be nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, we've all had. I mean, there's been a serious learning curve for all of us, though. I mean, like for myself, I had what was essentially my biggest show of the year, doing the toughest monster truck tour in Lamar, Missouri. And don't get me wrong, like regardless of what happened with the truck, and just me being able to go out and just not really perform the way I wanted to, it was still a great time. I mean, to be around those caliber drivers. I mean, Larry Swim, for crying out loud. I had no idea the guy was going to be there. I pull up, he's standing there staring at me like I wasn't already nervous enough. Now I'm competing against one of the all-time greats, Larry Swim.
I mean, I thought you'd be more worried about Tim Jones. That was the whole deal for that weekend.
I was so. I mean, that was the only thing I could think about the whole way there. Is I got to be able to compete well against Tim. And then I pull up and there's Larry. And then there's Mark McDonald. I mean, come on. Give me a break.
You basically, that whole game where it's like you got to draw sticks, and whoever gets the shortest one, you got, one that big, essentially. Yeah. So you and Casey had your guys' work cut out for you that show.
We did, man. I mean, we were used to doing the smaller shows and got put right into the major leagues right there at that show. And don't get me wrong, it hit us hard in the face. That show did not let up. Next to mechanical issues, it was learning how to be a driver on a course that big with those obstacles. Guys who obviously raced that course before, and us being new. I mean, the hardest course Casey and I ran is just, Chicago style. But that S course, the crazy ass S course,
Can I also note that Casey beat you in racing too?
You did not tell me this, because you and Casey have had this little banter back and forth in the trailer.
It was.
So what's the record
show?
now?
Yeah, it was the second show. She beat you.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So are you at a loss for your record right now, you and Casey?
I have no idea.
I would say so.
Yeah. I believe so. I'm sorry, man. It's starting to show. She's already surpassing you.
Casey showed up big time in freestyle in that same show as well.
Shout out to Too Tall for the video he made on TikTok, by the way. That had us rolling. But yeah, it was just super cool. Like I can't remember what show I was at. I was doing something, giving rides to people, who knows. But I was just like so worried because I'm like, one hand I'm like, don't tear the truck up, don't do a somersault, don't do anything. But in the same sense, I'm like, give him a run for his money. And I didn't hear anything from you all weekend, so I was kind of like worried. I'm like, did he crash? Did something happen with the truck?
It was a non-stop weekend.
It sounds
and
like
it
it.
was hot. It was so hot.
Didn't let up. First show had to deal with front wheel drive since my first hit in two wheel. The next night dealing with timing issues. It just didn't let up. But it was a great learning experience though. You're gonna run with the big dogs. You gotta make sure your shit's on point. And there was a lot that I picked up from those guys. This is what I really appreciate. It's like, okay, we're doing the Battle of the Gators. Okay, whatever. But you know who really stepped up and helped us get out there and try to at least perform our best was Tim Jones.
Really?
From the moment we pulled up, because we were running a little bit behind, dealing with some issues with the trucks, getting parts and all that. We pull up, and he's right there, and he's helping put Monster Patrol together, get Monster Patrol tired up, shocked up. I mean, he was helping us the next day when we were swapping out the third and Gator. Jerry Beck and his guys, obviously they were monumental, I would say, in helping us get Gator back. Jerry Beck sent some of his guys over, and I mean, Devin Jones, that's who I'm thinking of. Devin Jones, he was driving Barbarian in that show. He came over and he helped us, gave us a spindle nut actually to use. One of our spindle nuts got messed up. And I mean, just being able to pick those guys' brains on how to drive the course. I was asking Larry some questions before the show. And I could not take that week as hard as it was, as much as it actually sucked. Physically, it was hot as hell. We're dealing with the trucks. I wouldn't take it back, though. I'd go right back and deal with it all over again once more, just so I could be around those guys.
No,
so damn good.
Talk in the comments. Casey says, if he actually hit the ramps, we could talk about racing wins.
Coming from somebody that didn't realize that the ramps were apparently directional.
Burn! Burn, Casey!
Yeah, Monster Patrol is currently minus one wing already, so... Yeah, there's that.
I'm kind of on her side a little bit. You kind of go around the ramps.
You went around the ramps.
I didn't go. Wait, what?
It sounds like you went around.
What are you talking about?
She's just talking about you don't do all four tires on the ramps every time.
Oh yeah,
you kind of just go around or side.
That's a penalty, or at least it should be.
It should be.
Well, win's a win if you ask me. And
I guess anything to cut corners, apparently.
Yeah. Win's a win in my book. But anyways, I mean, we got that. I actually got a throwdown show coming up there in the next couple of weeks. Hitting the road this weekend to do, I guess you'd call it a Night of Destruction show. Where am I going? Somewhere in Michigan. Escanaba, Michigan. There was a throwdown show there earlier this year. We are returning for basically a Night of Destruction. It's called
Armageddon on Wheels.
Oh, you guys are going to have a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Escanaba is one. It's kind of like one of those shows that seems like it's out in the middle of nowhere. It's up in the Upper Peninsula, for those that don't know. And it's just chaotic. It's just awesome. Like if you were to take Elko and Lacrosse, I mean, and just combine them in the two, it's just so much fun. You guys are gonna have a blast.
We got my brother Logan and my pops Rodney. They're headed out to, I believe, Afton, Wyoming this weekend. You got what's his name, Mike Riley, driving Barely Tame, and he's gonna be headed up to Bismarck, North Dakota. And have we decided who's going with him yet? We got that figured out.
I'm not 100% sure. It was supposed to be me.
Oh wait, yeah.
Your other brother.
Yeah. Then who's going with me?
It's another
Casey.
Okay, the schedule should change so many damn times a day.
We just had this conversation at lunch.
We don't know who's going where. We'll get it figured out, though, I promise. She has it figured out. We don't know. Remember, she makes the schedules now.
I apparently have another weekend off, so you guys have fun.
We're going to have a great time.
I'll do something, clean the house, I guess. And sleep in the hot upstairs. Oh, yeah.
Well, maybe hang out with your wife.
I'm sleeping on the couch tonight.
He's getting the bird from his wife right now. And he's sleeping on the couch.
Punishment would be sleeping upstairs, not sleeping down here.
Yeah, you're right. I'll sleep on the ping pong table in the basement.
We just happen to be in one of the many living rooms in this big ass house.
Yeah.
This living room feels great right now, but the upstairs doesn't have AC. We're getting that worked on. Hopefully it's fixed soon because it's hot for Minnesota weather up here. This ain't nothing to what we experience in Alabama and what we're used to in Texas,
or even when we lived in Florida. Honestly,
it's uncomfortable upstairs right now. But anyways, you don't want to hear any more about that. You want to hear what's going on. We have got a guest who's been with us a few times on the show. One of our close friends, and Joe Sylvester. He's going to be joining us in just a moment. Guy's just been hard at work, busting his ass, totally caught us off guard with his new body, the bad habit Gladiator. I think that's what he's calling it.
Well, that's what it is.
And I think it's about time to.
Maybe you can tell us.
That's what he's calling it. No, it is a Jeep. Have you never been to a Chrysler dealership, Tweety? It is a Jeep Gladiator.
I got my eyes set more heavily on Chryslers now since our boy Joe Sylvester is working with them closely. And I think it's about time we go ahead and bring him on. Remember, you got to unmute him when you bring him on.
Yes, I
But
know.
just so
When you're
everybody
ready.
is aware, when we bring him on, there might be a little bit of an echo. So you just have to bear with us through that. But ladies and gentlemen, for the 1,000th time on the show, what seems like our good friend Joe Sylvester. What is going on, my man? How are you? What is going on, my man? How are you?
What's happening, guys? Good to be back on here. Welcome to it was my racing simulator room. It's turned into a storage facility now, but
Joe, it's great to have you back on. You've obviously been busting your ass hard at work. You got a new body now, and I believe you're actually calling it the Bad Habit Gladiator. Is that right?
I believe you're actually calling it the Bad Habit Gladiator. Is that right?
yeah, we are. The last one was relapse, obviously, because the whole bad habit theme and relapsing with a bad habit coming, back into the sport after a short break as an owner, and now the Jeep Gladiator body. It's just fitting to call it the Bad Habit Gladiator.
Man, you got a lot of people pumped up. A lot of people are really looking forward to watching this thing compete. And so now let's go ahead. Let's get the cat out of the bag. You have got up your sleeve. Now you're going for your second category as far as world record attempts goes, and I guess breaking the speed record. Why don't you jump into that a little bit? And we're all ears right now.
Yeah, it just it came about because we're going to have Mayhem doing rides at the Night Under Fire event at Summit Motorsports Park, and I was talking to Bill Bader, the owner of the track, and I was like, I started thinking about bringing Bad Habit out there to display because there's going to be a lot of major NHRA people there, a lot of big time sponsors and stuff like that at the event. And I was like, I'm going to go. I don't really feel like doing a display. I'm going to do something cool. So I started thinking about the world record and the speed run, and we started testing for it a few months ago, kind of in secret, just to see if we're had what it takes to compete with that. And turns out we do, and we have had to change some different gearing and some axle stuff and everything. But we definitely are feeling pretty confident about it, and made the official announcement with Summit Motorsports Park and Night Under Fire, and really excited to be a part of the event. If you've never seen Night Under Fire, it's an amazing event. They've got jet trucks, jet cars, nitro Harleys. There's all kinds of stuff going on, and NHRA is off this weekend, so a lot of teams get paid to go match race there. So there's Top Fuel Funny Cars match racing and stuff. John Force and his team are there. Alexis DeJoria. It's a pretty awesome event, and I'm really, really honored to be a part of it. And I'm stoked that they're excited that I'm going to be there to be a part of it.
So now I got to know, when it comes to gearing, right, and get the truck ready to break the record, we know the current world record holder, which is Bryce Kinney, the Mohawk Warrior Monster Jam truck. They were very vocal about what they had to do to get that truck right. They had to take weight off the truck. I think they said they shaved like 2,000 pounds off of the truck, did some other things with the suspension, obviously the gearing to get it right. But I don't think you've really done much to shedding weight off the truck, or have you, Joe? Or is that something you can let us in on?
I can tell you that kind of stuff, but as far as gearing, we're going to keep that a little bit of a secret for now, because we did some pretty radical adjustments with the axles to do what we needed it to do and not have driveline vibration, which is what we found, from the first test day that we went. Just had super bad driveline vibrations and was throwing drive shafts and carrier bearings and stuff like that. So, but we shaved some weight off the truck. To be honest, we shaved probably, the Gladiator body itself is actually a couple 100 pounds lighter than that 79 Ford, literally. The whole body probably weighs less than just the front clip of that 79 Ford. That is a really thick, heavy fiberglass body, and the Jeep body's super, super light that we built. So a little bit of weight savings there. And then we also just put solid aluminum 4-link bars on it that we're going to try. And that saved about, not as much as I thought it was going to save. It only saved about 120 pounds, but it shaved a little bit of weight. But as far as taking shocks off and wheel tethers and stuff like that, it's all still there. I could literally, change the gearing, reset the front shocks, and go do a show with it. It's completely ready to go do a show. We tested suspension a little bit. We tried some stuff with limiting straps and really found that, just running a lower ride height in the front and letting the truck work and do its thing was really the most predictable and the most, the best way I was able to get down the track nice and straight. It's a little squirrely at the end. It's definitely sketchy. I tell people it's like driving a backhoe really fast. You get up over 80 miles an hour, it's a handful. So we've tried some different tires. People notice we got slicks on the back of it, which I picked up a set of slicks that actually I believe Randy Moore actually had them cut. And a kid that I came across in Missouri, his name's Devin Treat. He's working on building a truck of his own. And I say, hey, what are you going to do with those slicks? I said, you're probably not going to do you much good in the dirt. And he agreed to sell them to me. And so that was pretty cool. And then we tried some different tires on the front and found that it was hard to find like Firestones and stuff that were really true. You guys know you work around the tires all the time. You ever the tires that you roll and they wobble like they want to fall over and it's hard to even get them in the trailer? Well, I had one of those on the front, and when we tested with that, it was literally like you loosened up all the lug nuts and the wheel was going to fall off the truck is what it felt like. So I ended up getting a set of China tires, which ended up being about the same height as the slicks too, because that was something that we found was really important, was to get the air pressures right in the tires so that the front tires and the back tires and all four corners are really close to the same circumference, the same height, because obviously going that kind of speed, if your tires are way off in size, it's going to throw your gearing off, and you could tear up something in the drive line, because it'd be like, a lifted truck running 33s on the back and 40s in the front, and to have the same gear ratio in the axles and put in four-wheel drive and see what happens. So we've definitely played around with a lot of different stuff for sure.
Now, I got to know, Joe, and sorry, I don't mean to cut y'all off if you were coming in with a question, but I mean, when it comes to gearing, and I'm not going to ask you what your secret recipe is. We don't need to know that. But is this something that, you've been stirring on for a long time, or is it something that just kind of hits you like in the middle of the night, you're trying to get some rest, and you're like, oh man, if I just did this with the gearing, I might be able to make an attempt at it? Or, I mean, how long has this really been in the works, Joe?
No, it's definitely something, the gearing that we did, it's definitely been something that I've thought about. It's definitely not something we could ever use in a show because it's geared so incredibly high. I have to take off very, very slow. Otherwise, we'll find a weak link in the driveline real quick. Probably a drive shaft would break, probably the first thing that would go. But, it's something that we thought about to reduce driveline speed, because that was really the ticket, was to reduce the driveline speed to be able to not have the shake through the drive shafts and everything. So something that we had thought about, and SCS Gearbox stepped up and helped me make it a reality.
So I guess I could talk about this a little bit, and it's pretty ironic since he just literally just walked through the living room, go to the basement. But my dad, when he was driving Bigfoot, I don't know, maybe 12 years ago, they were attempting to hit the world speed record then, and they had changed all kinds of stuff. I mean, there he is right now. They had taken the front drive shaft out of the truck, different types of wheels, obviously changed the gearing and all that. And then you had the Hall brothers who just went out. Their truck was basically like yours is now, Joe. It's basically show ready. Might put some different air in the shocks, or maybe change the gears a little bit in the quick change. But I mean, this has been something that guys have been after for a long time. There's a long gap in between the current record holder and who held it previously. And Joe, this is something that aggravated me. Like, obviously, I respect the hell out of Bryce Kinney. He's a great, honest person. I trust the guy. What really frustrated me is when we were watching the Breaking World Records with Monster Jam in 2020. You're watching that video clip of Mohawk Warrior running down the drag strip. There is not a clean video of that run. Like, all I wanted to see was somebody with a damn iPhone just record the truck going. That's all I wanted to see. But you didn't get that. You got some, like, what really appears to be some sped up footage. And like I said, don't get me wrong, I believe the record is real. I wouldn't think that somebody like Bryce would lie about that anyway. So I believe the record is real. It's legit. What aggravated me was the entertainment aspect of it really took over what I think is like just a special. I don't know. What I'm trying to say.
They kind of did the Street Outlaws thing where the race literally takes like 8 seconds and you have 20 different camera angles and you drag it on for 30 seconds.
And to me, it didn't even look real. It really looked like somebody put it in a video editor and sped up the truck to make it look cooler. I just want to watch some raw footage of it. So when it comes to that, Joe, do you have kind of in mind, I mean, what's going to be going on with the video equipment, or who's taking videos, who's allowed to take videos and all that stuff?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there'll be a lot of videos rolling. There'll be about 55,000 people in the stands at Night Under Fire. So I'm sure there'll be plenty of raw video footage that hits the internet. We'll have some
Hell
of our
yeah.
own people. And what, what legitimized, Feld's record with Bryce, they actually had people from Guinness there. So they weren't really relying on video footage for their record. I don't have the bankroll to bring the people over from the UK from Guinness. It's extremely expensive. I didn't do it for either one of my record jumps. But what you do when you apply for a world record is they give you a packet, and there's very, very distinct guidelines, very strict guidelines that you have to do, and things that and evidence that you need to supply them with to be able to have a legitimate record, and then and for them to actually certify it. So one of the things we need to have is a camera angle that shows the entire run from start to finish, completely unedited, and where you could see the truck start and you can see the truck finish. So we'll have to have a camera set up at the quarter-mile mark, and they can see me at the starting line and see me go past the finish line. And that's been the challenge was is getting the timing right to where I'm hitting my speed at the quarter mile, because we're starting off so slow. I got to get after it a little bit to get that speed at the quarter mile, because from the testing that we've done and the gearing we have, my VZ engine, it keeps on pulling way past the quarter mile if I can hang on to the steering wheel. So it's we got to try to make sure that we hit our mark and beat that 100-mile-per-hour target at the quarter mile, because that's where the certified timing equipment is. So that's another thing that we have to do for Guinness, is we have to use a actual certified timing equipment, which obviously Summit Motorsports Park has, because they're legit NHRA track.
So do us all a favor here. If you're watching the video tonight and you like what you see, go ahead and give the video a thumbs up, like, share, and subscribe. We would really appreciate that. And for those of y'all who've been supporting our merch store while we've been away doing shows, we really appreciate that as well. And y'all being patient with us while we're even attempting just now to get back and get orders processed and get stuff out the door. We really appreciate y'all hanging out with us.
We are 26 subscribers away from finally reaching 1,000.
Come on!
26. 26 when we finally hit 4 digits on Throttle Out. It's only taken over a year, right?
Like the video.
Yeah, like the video. We don't have Cooper do.
What are you doing?
We don't have Coop to get up and stand up and yell at the camera.
He's in the middle of his date right now. We can't be interrupted.
Can't interrupt. Okay.
No.
That's very important. But y'all have been quiet for a little bit. Go ahead and ask the man a question. If y'all down in the comments, you got a question for our man Joe, go ahead and drop it
I
down.
think Joe actually qualifies for another world record here, because I think this would also be the world's fastest Jeep without reaching death wobble at those speeds.
Oh, make no mistake about it. It definitely has death wobble. It's a monster truck. It definitely wobbles. It's a handful, like I said, especially once you get up over 70, 80 miles an hour. It's very, very sketchy. I mean, the tires start shaking. And then with the hydraulic steering and the motor spinning that fast, it's definitely a handful, but I only got to do it once. So as long as I can hang on to it one time and keep it from bouncing off the wall.
Are you going to actually maybe kind of reinforce your helmet in there, maybe put some extra padding on the sides to help kind of get it set in there? Or is it just about as good as it's going to get right now?
Like what, pool noodles?
Yeah, pool noodles.
I don't know what kind of seat you're driving in, man, but if your head isn't already that tight, then you're in the wrong seat. I can't move my head when I'm in my truck. If I did, I'd be knocked out every weekend.
That's fair. Yeah. That explains.
Yeah, my head's already locked in there.
No, mine no. I've been told by, like I said, people who previously attempted this, that, and Joe, you've been vocal about as well, is that truck's going to be shaking a lot, so I just didn't know if that's something that you would have to do.
Because there's actually something, since we're on the topic of, I wish I could figure out what it's called, but in NHRA, that's actually something very serious that the guys in Top Fuel have gone through, is a serious amount of tire shake has actually caused serious brain damage. So I mean, granted, it's a monster truck doing 100 miles an hour, but I mean, you're talking about an NHRA car that does 300 miles an hour, and you get tire shake, you're just in this tiny little cage. A lot of shit's can go down real fast. But honestly, Joe, safety is number one concern. So obviously, we know your equipment's great. I mean, the truck looks awesome, and I know you're not taking any backseat to really anything. And best of the best, 110%. But,
Yeah, man, I appreciate it. It's cool to be able to debut the Jeep body. And it's something I've really wanted to do for a long time. It just never really made sense. And, I always kind of figured that I was going to have to build a truck around having a Jeep body on it. But when the opportunity came about to work with Kuefleitner Auto Group and do a Jeep Gladiator, we made it work. It was a challenge because, the chassis is set up for a full-size truck body. But it's also functional. It should be pretty easy to repair after rollovers. We used sheet aluminum for the doors and the bedside. I had a local guy that builds stock car bodies for dirt track cars, late models and stuff like that. He did the sheet metal work for me and put the crease in the side just like a real Gladiator has. And then the front clip is actually all real legit Jeep parts. It's Jeep grill, Jeep hood, Jeep headlights. And I kind of put it all together to make a one-piece front clip. So it was definitely a lot of work. It was challenging to try to make it look as good as we possibly could. We're gonna have it on display at Toledo Jeep Fest next weekend, which that's pretty exciting too. And a lot of the Jeep community's been really, really stoked on it. Really, really excited. And I know a lot of people in the monster truck community have had opinions. Mostly it's been pretty positive. But of course, like anything you do in this industry, you've always got the people that come out of the woodwork and I ruined the truck and this and that. I'm like, hey, listen, when I go out there and perform, do you truly really care what body's on my truck?
No.
9 times out of 10, it's probably not going to be on it when I'm done with my freestyle anyway. So does it really matter?
I think there's one thing missing on Joe's truck to make it a true Jeep. It needs to have the upside down decal that says, if you can read this, roll me over.
That's right.
It does. I'm just saying, it's a Jeep thing. You wouldn't understand.
Yep. Yeah, there's a lot of fun stuff around with the Jeep community I think it's going to roll into the monster truck quite nicely. And we've also got the street Gladiator 2 that we built with Kuefleitner Auto Group, and it's got a graphics package on it that kind of matches the monster truck. And we worked with Hostile Wheels, which has been friends of mine for a long time, and Rock Crawler Suspension, another really good group of people, and an awesome lift kit. And you could go to Kuefleitner and say, hey, I want the Bad Habit package on my Jeep or on a Jeep they have on the lot. And you can get it in any color. And, it's a pretty cool opportunity for us.
Dude, that's awesome. Okay, off camera, I was just talking about. Do you guys remember the Bigfoot Cruisers back in the day? Like, you had to go to a specific dealership to have, like, the Bigfoot package. I don't know if it was a lift kit, but I know there's, like, a graphics package.
Yeah.
Now you could go somewhere in Ohio and get a Bad Habit Jeep. That's so badass, Joe. That is so awesome.
So maybe come the weekend of the Canfield show, you want to run down to Ohio and
yeah.
snag
I think you guys should go snag a Jeep and bring it back.
Yeah, we should. Yeah, we're in the market for new vehicles, so there we go.
It fits in the trailer quite nicely when there's only one truck in the trailer.
Yeah, if we're getting Harley a Jeep here pretty soon, you won't be able to pry the damn wheel out of her hand. So it won't
Nice.
I think she'll like.
That's why Gabby is. Gabby loves it. She won't let me drive it. She loves that thing.
Now, we got a lot more to still talk about, Joe. We were talking about the Canfield show coming up as well, but I'm looking at your hat right now for people who don't understand. What is Black Flies, and how do they help you?
Black Flies is just the most badass sunglass company since 1993, man. It's I'm really, really excited that they're supporting me and they share all my stuff now. And it's the guys that actually run Black Flies, they were the guys that started it in 1993. So they're like OGs. They've really been true to their style. They haven't followed like fads and stuff like that in the sunglass world. They've just kind of stayed true to the roots. They've sponsored a lot of the same guys, the same riders since the 90s. And I grew up watching Crusty Demons of Dirt and all those videos, and Black Flies was always a sponsor. And they sponsor Colin Scummy Morrison, they sponsor Seth Enslow, and I was like, man, that's a cool company, And I obviously just started working with them, but I've always kind of had a personal relationship with some of the guys over the past few years. And while I wasn't sponsored by them, they still supported me. They still commented my stuff. They still shared my stuff. And, it's just so it was a really a natural fit to come together and say, hey, this brand, this image really, really fits with me and my image and my lifestyle. And I came together, and I'm really, really stoked on, this new relationship with them, with Black Flies. And, who knows, maybe we'll have a Bad Habit pair of Black Fly sunglasses in the near future.
Sign me up. My Oakleys just don't hold up anymore.
Well, Joe, we're glad to have you on. Now let's talk a little bit. Can we talk about the Canfield show? Is that okay?
Yeah, absolutely, man.
So coming up September 24th, there's going to be a big show, obviously, in Joe's hometown, Canfield, Ohio, big monster truck show. Last year, and y'all threw down. Watching the footage, that looked like a great show. And then this year, you got our trucks coming to be a part of this. Joe, what's going to be in the works for this year at Canfield, Ohio?
My plan with Canfield, it's to really, for it to be kind of the quintessential, the example of what I want the Outlaw Monster Truck drags to be. Obviously we know I've got a plan, for the future if things start progressing in that direction. So every year I want to up the ante a little bit and make sure people come back the next year and give them a better show every single year. So this year we got 8 trucks coming. 4 of your trucks are coming, and it's 4 big names that haven't been in Canfield in probably 20 years. USA 1, Barefoot, Monster Patrol, and Carolina Crusher. So that's really cool. It's kind of bringing back the old Penda days, the old drag racing vibe. And the track's going to be pretty similar to last year. I've actually been talking to Spence, and they've been doing some stuff on the simulator to kind of test out some of my ideas that I have for the track this year. And I'm thinking I'm probably going to build a big step up right off the line. Just because I think it would be, 1, it'd be challenging, and 2, it's going to be really rad for the fans to see 2 trucks straight up in the air side by side, in racing. So I think that'll be really cool. It'll be challenging for the race course. And I always try to make my tracks to where they're not like Penda. They actually challenge the driver and challenge the modern day truck to where you have to time the jumps. You have to, have a rhythm to your run. So we'll have the school buses again and a big finish line jump. And then I'm pretty 90% sure it's going to be a step up right off the line. So it's going to be pretty cool. And that's probably what'll make or break people's runs will be that step up. It'll be one of the, the kind where you got to hit it, tap the brakes and downside it and get right back on the gas on the downside. So that's exciting. And then I'm still trying to wrap my head around how I can get a few more freestyle obstacles. Like I watched the show from last year and I'm like, man, I wish there was more stuff to hit for freestyle, but we have such a narrow track to work with in Canfield because they only allow us to use the tractor pool area. So we don't have a lot of width. And everything's meant to go, north and south. So I'm trying to get some ideas for some other stuff. I'd like to build a backflip ramp. I built that backflip ramp in Radford, Virginia this year, and I was supposed to hit it, and it rained, and it was too muddy, and I didn't get to hit it. Tim Jones hit it on Friday night. The truck rotated perfectly, but he gassed it a little bit, and he almost did a second flip, and he rolled over after he, flipped the second time. But the ramp was perfect. So I'm like, man, I really want to hit that. That'd be really cool to do a backflip in front of my hometown crowd. It's end of the year. I take a mountain bike trip right after that show the next day. So we shovel the truck in the trailer and we're good to go.
Man, I wish you were going to be driving in that show. Or are you?
We don't know.
Because there's
Hey, wait a minute.
Oh,
I'll say this right now online. If you ain't driving in the show, then that truck better not show up.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
It sounds like I'm going to be in Canfield.
yeah. Looks like you
Well, so here's the other thing. And I am going to throw this out there whether you want me to or not. So there's also something significant about this date. Austin Tweedy's turning 30 this year.
Big 3.
Oh, yes.
24.
On the
Yes. Oh, we are going to party. Yes, for sure. It's an early show, too. It's not a late show. The show starts at 5 o'clock. So
Party up.
we got time to go out.
High octane
Yeah.
coffee, man. I don't know if they have alcohol there, but I mean.
No, but the Mexican restaurant right next door sure does.
There we go. Hey, man, you and your family with your Mexican. Let's go. Come on, let's go. No, you guys are obsessed with Mexican food.
I eat Mexican every day if it was up to me.
But dude, that's gonna be such an awesome show. Like, redeem yourself in Canfield. Like, I know Lamar's. You had some bad luck in Lamar.
Make sure the bolts are tight. It's a big show, man. It's everybody comes guns blazing. I'm excited about it. Stomper, man, he really cranks it up and runs hard. American Scout, Colton, I'm so stoked that he's in a big truck now, and seeing him drive that thing, I know he's going to be swinging for the fences when he comes out. And I told you, I know you guys are in Arizona the week before. I said, shoot straight to my shop from Arizona. Shop's wide open. Whatever you guys need, we'll make sure your trucks are 100% before Saturday.
I mean, we're actually doing some reinforcements to Carolina Crusher right now, and that truck should be ready to clang and bang come September 24th.
Absolutely. That thing should be bulletproof by then.
Yeah. Our fabricator and obviously one of our team drivers, Casey Gromschroeder. We got these trucks. They've been rode hard for years, and they've served their purpose. Now we're going a different direction with them, and we're obviously seeing some places we need to improve the chassis. So that's being done actually right now to both trucks, but especially Carolina Crusher. And so come September 24th, both of those trucks should be ready to rock and roll. We've seen obviously my brother Logan, driver of Barefoot, getting really good at racing. They're finally getting the bugs worked out of the new USA 1 truck. Dad was actually able to air out the truck a lot last weekend. Brought home some dubs. So this is going to be a good show. Yeah.
It's going to be awesome. I still think it's awesome, like, throughout this entire year. There's only 2 trucks in Triple B that have not rolled yet, and it is USA 1 and Barefoot. But explain to me how Barefoot looks like it's rolled over, but has yet to roll over.
That's just monster trucks, Joe. You know a thing or two about that. Trucks just be getting that body damage. They don't have to be on their lids. It just happens.
Absolutely. But
Fiberglass, man, it just comes apart.
That's
one thing I'm excited about. Like when I did the Jeep, as part of my idea with doing the Jeep body was easy repairs, and having that it's the bedsides and stuff are sheet aluminum, just like a stock car. If it gets beat up, if it gets munched up, just pop it off, put it on the ground, and beat it back straight with a mallet, and put it back on the truck.
You keep it easy, keep it simple. Honestly,
a lot of people just said stuff too, like the name's small on the side of the truck, and it looks kind of different. Like the reason we did that is so that I could pull the doors off the truck and run with no doors, just like a real Jeep, and the name still be on the side of the truck.
That is actually pretty cool. Now, when you guys, so you do an event at your coffee shop called Jeeps and Java, right? Isn't that where you're
we do
another event here soon? So are you gonna do the mall crawl flex, like somehow park your trucks where you're like flexing the Jeep a little bit, like on a
take sway bars out?
Yeah, take sway bars out.
Yeah, it'd be pretty hard to beat that.
No, I'm really looking forward to coming to the coffee shop. And Harley, she's going to make the trip with us and going to be there. She's going to step away from the desk for a weekend and come down and hang out with us and try some of this new coffee. Now, I like to just drink my coffee black, but I know you got a lot of tasty concoctions that we'll be able to get our hands on. So I'm pretty pumped about that.
Oh, dude, ask my wife.
Yeah, man, I'm excited to be able to hang out with you guys for a few days, and hopefully I can not be too crazy that week leading up to the show, and we can actually get to hang out a little bit and, get you guys' trucks in the shop, make sure you're all good to go for the weekend. It's gonna be a good time, man.
So you're wearing your new shirt right now. You got your old shirt on sale. Where can people go to find your merch, my man?
JoeSylvester.com, nice and easy. It's and people have been blowing it up today since I made some posts about it, and it's exciting. Again, we got the new shirt Michael Arndt designed. I've done so many renderings with Michael Arndt over the years for sponsors and like crazy ideas I have. And he actually did the first Bad Habit Jeep rendering for me back in, I think, like 2012, because I was thinking about doing something. And it's cool. And I'm sure he's stoked that we finally, one of the ones that he did actually comes to fruition. And, we got, and it's on a shirt now too. So it's pretty cool. I'm pretty stoked on how they turned out. We've got them in black, and then it shows we'll also have them in pink and orange.
So, Joe, before we let you hop off here now, I just want to say, first of all, thank you so much for joining us. I know, we try to keep up with each other as much as we can. We still don't get a chance to talk with each other as much as we'd like to. You've just been busy. You're making shit happen. We're over here, like I said, we're running 100 miles an hour every day. We talk about, maybe if we have a weekend off from shows, there's really no days off, it seems like. And that just happens to be monster trucks. But Joe, thank you so much for joining us. Is there anything else you want to talk about? Anything you want to get out there before you sign off?
No, thanks for having me, guys. I appreciate you having me on here so we could talk about the truck a little bit. I'm really excited about it. The sponsors are really excited about it. And I feel we're kind of bringing a crowd of people that's a fiercely loyal demographic. That's the Jeep crowd. Hopefully we get some more of them excited about monster trucks now because they've got a truck to root for.
Well, Joe, good luck. We wish you the best. We hope that all that turns out well for you. And when is this event? When are we going to know if and when you are the new world record speed holder?
Night Under Fire is this Saturday, and the event kicks off at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I believe I'll be making my run sometime after, I think, the second round of racing. I'm not 100% sure how the flow of that event goes, but it's about a 2.5 to 3 hour long show overall. But and it's kind of all, there's stuff going on all day. We'll have Mayhem there giving rides and everything, and from what I've been told, it's almost completely sold out. So it's gonna be really cool. I'm excited to do it. So by Saturday evening, you'll know.
Well, I got a show tonight, but I'm going to be keeping my phone close by because I got to know if one of my good friends is now a 3-time world record holder. I kind of messed up the thumbnail tonight. I was thinking, 2-time world record holder because, be 2 different categories. Like, damn it, I totally messed that up. It should say 3-time.
Harley, this is why you make the thumbnails.
Yeah, I'll make the thumbnail next time.
But Joe, thank you so much for joining us tonight, my man. God bless you, and good luck this weekend.
Thanks a lot, guys. Appreciate it.
Peace out, my man. Always great having him on.
Oh my gosh, dude! I remember the first time we had him. We could have just let him talk the entire stream.
No,
we needed part 2, part 3, part 4. But man, always good chatting up with Joe, seeing how he's doing. But
I mean, it's so much that he's gone and done on his own. Don't get me wrong; he's got some great people backing him, helping him along the way. But there's just so much he's actually had to learn the hard way around. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And he's able to pour that into us as well. And he's always giving us pointers with helping us with the show. And I mean, just what a great guy. And I hope that he's able to pop off that world record and get 50,000 different video angles of this run, man. I'm so excited to watch it.
So my question is, after Joe squashes this record, what's the next one? Because let's be honest,
We got to see how much he crushes this one, though.
Well, that's the thing. Joe is the kind of guy where he's constantly pushing. So after he does this, he's got the Jeep. He's always coming out of left field with something crazy. And then he obviously dropped the ball on, we're working on some crazy track or whatever he wants to do in Canfield. So what's next? What's next year going to bring? I mean, Joe Sylvester is crazy. Let's be honest.
He just wakes up in the morning, drinks like 8 cups of coffee, and just tries to come up with the craziest shit possible.
Pretty much. But we'll see. I'm looking forward to it. And honestly, I really hope I get a chance. I don't think, Harley, you might have to, I'll have to look. Hold on, September 24th. I'm looking. I better not be scheduled. I'll be so sad.
I don't think there's a ride truck scheduled that week.
Missoula, Montana.
Oh, that just got added. Okay, I'm sorry. That's recently.
Dang it! Well, it'll probably get canceled. Let's fingers crossed. Anyway, no. I'm kidding. James, don't fire me. But that'll be an awesome show.
Moving on to some other news. No, we just received word within the last day or two. The OG USA 1 is coming back for an event this weekend, y'all.
Yep, the 1970, 71, like the original USA 1 that competed with Bigfoot back in the day of the truck we have. That. How many streams ago was it that you had the body tilt? It was before I started.
It was back in the winter.
So that truck, the OG old leaf spring truck, is going to be hooking up to a polling trailer. Is it a trailer? Poller? I don't know what it's called. I've never been to a tractor pull before. But truck polling, whatever it's called. But it's Thursday, I believe. They're actually doing
Thursday
it.
night. Yeah.
Thursday night, our boss James,
the boss man,
is going to be hopping in the old faithful. I shouldn't have said Old Faithful. I probably jinxed it. And is going to be making a poll.
I mean, this is some old school shit.
This is some pure TNT stuff. Like, this is awesome. I'm super stoked about this. So
now, I want to know how everybody watching tonight, what y'all think about this. I mean, these trucks have been obviously sitting at Everett's shops for years, and we're trying to get we're going in a different direction with race trucks, and these trucks have just kind of been shelved for a little bit, and that's been bugging James like crazy. We want to get these trucks out to events. We want to do stuff with them, and so this is kind of the first step in that direction is doing something with USA 1, and now we're doing a tractor pull. What are y'all thinking in the comment section? Is this something, you'd rather see USA 1 doing something different? Is this something that bothers you? We want to know in the comments down below.
So the thing is, obviously with safety and the way these trucks are built, there's a lot of stuff that we can't do with these trucks like they used to back in the day. because I didn't realize kind of just looking around the truck, because you see like a cage, but it's substantially smaller than the one that's in the 88, because the 88 is the one that won the first ever monster truck championship. Well, I guess that's more so of a skeleton just to pick up the whole body rather than just being some kind of a safety feature. So with that being said, it would be as cool as it would be to see them do a car crush. I don't see it happening solely because with the way cars are built now and with glass and shrapnel, we don't want to pop tires. We don't want to have something go wrong to where, say, the truck shuts off. Like high roller at the Bigfoot open house.
You read my mind, yeah.
And the truck rolls over on its side. We do not want to see that happen. We know there's some purists that are probably going to be really upset seeing that this truck is still doing work. But the way I see it, Bigfoot has a spot in the Smithsonian while USA 1 is out here still doing work. So I think that's pretty badass. I'm just saying.
No, I love it. I mean, I would just be so bold to say. I mean, it's about time the truck has done something. And I know it's been bothering our boss that the truck hasn't been able to get out and do events. And so maybe this kind of takes us off in a direction where we get more events booked for the OG USA 1 and obviously the Champ truck.
Absolutely. And even if it's just car shows or just some kind of displays, just get them out of the dust, get them shined up, polish those awesome aluminum wheels. I guarantee you we go through like a 5-gallon drum of just polish the amount of chrome on this truck. But it's just bringing it out, showing people like this is what it was and this is what we have now. Like, could you imagine just doing displays? Like, even if we have like off weekends, having our USA 1, your dad's truck, and then having the OG or the 88 just somehow parked next to each other. I think that'd be pretty awesome.
And Stomping Grounds, yes, I saw Brandon Budd's pull whenever he did that with Buckshot. I believe it was last year or the year before. And when we had him on the show, we talked about that briefly, and that was kind of his background. And I mean, truck pulls. I mean, that was obviously very, very popular back in the day, back in our parents' day, I guess I should say. And then, I mean, there's just so many things that's taken its place since then. I mean, that is a very expensive sport as well. We think monster trucks are expensive. I mean, the guys just throw money at these damn trucks.
Oh, I mean, you're talking some of these tractors have like 5 or 6 Keith Black blown Hemis on methanol, and all they're doing is pulling a sled in a straight line. Like, and here we are, a bunch of backwoods dummies with roll cages. Like, we're gonna do a backflip. So, I mean, it's awesome, but it also kind of takes you back to the good old days of monster trucks. Because back in the day, we were more of an exhibition than we were or I should say, we were more of a side act than an exhibition. Because back then, you would have, at tractor pulls, you would have a car crush, or they would have the monster trucks hook up to sleds, or even at Gravel-Rama, the big hill climb that they did back in the day, too. It was always just kind of a side thing, not really a main attraction until eventually there was more monster trucks popping up. So I think it's be kind of cool. Like, you're going to see a lot of old people in the crowd, and you're going to see a lot of young kids that get to see where our sport came from and how it started and originated, and now you see where it is and how it's been brought up to today. So I think it's going to be pretty awesome.
It's going to be a good event, and like I said, we're looking forward to more events with the OG USA 1 truck and obviously the Champ truck coming out there, and obviously a lot of big things coming down the pipeline that we're not allowed to talk about here. We were shuffling some items around in the shop today, getting them in position.
Some items.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there's some stuff we can talk about because our boss, doesn't like to keep secrets whenever something comes out. So he did make a post about toys. So there is the possibility of toy. I don't know the lineup. I don't know what is coming out, but he did post a preview picture of Lone Wolf.
Yeah.
And I believe it's Monster Machines. I'm not 100% sure, but it didn't look like Hot Wheels. It didn't look like Spin Master, so I'm assuming it's Monster Machines. And then we also got a bunch, Harley can attest to this, a bunch of shirts for USA 1. So, I mean, we're slowly building as far as the merch goes. It sucks because I'm sure you could attest to this too, going to so many shows and you got kids and fans and families asking for merch, whether it's hats, shirts, a toy, or something. And being as new as we are, I mean, it's still crazy to think this is our first year.
Yeah.
With how much and how big we have expanded in such a short amount of time, it's crazy to think that this is still our first year. So I would assume come Christmas time or come the holidays, we're going to hopefully have everything. We might need to buy a new building. Just another building all around with all the stuff we need.
I mean, we might have to. I mean, like you said, as quickly as we grew, it's just.
But let me ask you this: as a driver, someone grown up watching the sport, you're now a driver. You're representing the name of the truck. What type of merchandise would you be more excited to see come to fruition?
Obviously, the old school names that we have. Me personally, I mean, we got our first batch of USA One shirts came in. They look awesome. They look phenomenal.
Oh yeah.
And I'm personally just excited about that. Now, I do know this when we go to the shows and as a driver, obviously everybody, you're in pit party, you're in autograph mode. Kids love the 3D stuff, man. They love the 3D bodies, the characters. There's so much more to it for the kids at that point. And I mean, those shirts, anybody who has a 3D character body, if you have merch ready, those items sell like hotcakes. The kids got to have it. The parents want to get it for the kids. And so it's a win-win for both the parent and the child. So I know for kids, mainly, they're going to be looking for our 3D stuff.
So what you're saying is you're being very humble, but Boss Gator's going to sell out before anybody else.
Boss Gator will sell.
I would have to believe you, but honestly, I would honestly love to see plush trucks if that's a possibility.
Yeah,
like
I love plush trucks.
Plush trucks. They used to be. I'll be honest. I used to have a plush truck Gravedigger when I was a little kid, but I'd like to think everybody probably has had one at some point. Yeah.
You probably didn't.
No, you probably
plush.
Yeah,
The
plush truck. The little
Gravedigger
pillows.
Oh,
You had one too. My dog ripped it up.
Yeah.
Rightfully so. Screw that truck. Anyway.
I got a couple Metal Militia plush trucks. You know that, though.
Oh.
I forgot I got you those. I completely forgot about that. Yeah. In your little mini fridge that's nowhere to be found.
It's in the basement on the bar where it belongs.
The bar that we don't use.
Yeah, we need some furniture in this house.
Yeah,
we got a big old house with no furniture.
Yeah, this is literally all the extent of what we have in
This
this
is our living room right
now.
here.
We have a fold-out chair and 2
chairs.
office chairs and a small coffee table. That's it. There was a blow-up mattress in here last night.
Yeah.
One
of the many living rooms.
But I guess another thing in news with Triple B, Tanner Root has left today. He stayed with us for about a month. With holy crap, that month flew by. I gotta say it was just really cool and awesome to actually get a chance to work with him. Because for those that don't know, Tanner has been on multiple teams. He said he worked for the Pags, he worked with Jimmy Creighton, and now he's leaving us at Triple B to go with Christensen to go run with the Hot Wheels Tour.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he's very diverse. He's a great driver. Just learned a lot from him, but he just clicked with everybody on this team.
Yeah.
Like, he's been here since the beginning, and it was just such an awesome privilege to have him here. However, for whatever reason, I don't know if it's just something about me or if it's Tanner, why this guy wants to wrestle me every time he sees me is beyond me. I have thrown this man numerous times. There's videos. We will share them. I will have to convince him to send them to me. But I have literally body slammed this kid because he wants to fight me.
I think you bring that approach to you that you just want to wrestle somebody. Like right now, you just look like you want to fight.
You want to go through the table right now.
I
will
don't.
Put you through the table.
I don't. But
And
I
the
get
people
those
probably
vibes
want
from
to
you.
see it though.
I get those
No,
vibes
there's
like
a lot of expensive equipment right here.
like we should build a wrestling ring and have our own league here.
Gosh.
My wife just smacked her head in the background.
We need to build our own wrestling ring.
No.
I mean, I honestly would love to hit somebody with a chair. That's honestly a bucket list thing I'd love to do. I don't even want to be in a wrestling match. I just want to hit somebody with a chair.
If you're
Name
all
somebody.
for us here at the Throttle Out Show building our own wrestling ring, give it to hell yeah. Hashtag hell yeah.
Hashtag hell yeah. Oh, someone's gonna get a concussion. But oh man, dude, we're at what? Like we're almost out of
Josh
time.
said
Yeah,
who won
yeah.
in basketball?
Oh, yeah. So the only thing that Tanner has won here. So we apparently here at the Throttle Out, or not Throttle Out, Triple B Crew House get very competitive when playing Madden. Tanner can confirm Tanner can beat your brother Cameron at Madden. Like,
Well, let me
6
guess,
to
1 out of 24 times.
Right. So he
It's possible.
It's possible. Not for me. I cannot play Madden to save my life. You've seen this. But apparently he challenged Josh Baumgartner, our shop foreman or boss, whatever title he has, our Jolly Giant, to a basketball game. I don't like basketball at all, but literally as me and Derek were moving some stuff around the shop, James pulls up in his Tahoe. He's like, "Who are the idiots over at the church parking lot playing basketball?" And the next thing you know, we see Josh and Tanner. Tanner in his like shop suit, like his onesie shop suit,
his Slipknot outfit,
sweating his ass off. It was hot today. It was like 92, 93 degrees, and they went and played basketball in the middle of the workday. And I guess Josh whooped his ass, but just crazy. We have so much fun at this place. It's unreal.
Yeah, but really, Tanner, we are going to miss you. It was great having you here, hanging out with us, and definitely we wish you the best of luck moving forward, and we'll be seeing you down the road. And obviously, you're always welcome back. I would say, yeah, not like you got fired or anything.
No. He did not leave on a bad note.
Yeah,
it was just so cool because before he left, like he made sure to get a picture with everybody before we left.
Yeah, that was cool.
And he like went and like shook our hands and hugged us and left, and it was almost a little emotional. I was like, damn, like I was kind of hoping he was gonna stay a little longer.
He shook your hand.
Yeah, he gave me a hug.
Oh, I got a kiss.
I believe that. Old Brokeback over there.
This stream needs to end right now.
It's got a little weird in here.
It needs to, we need to be.
You're turning a little red there, partner.
All right.
Is there something you need to tell me?
Is there something we need to talk about?
I was vocal about it.
Yeah,
I'm not hiding anything. We're gonna miss Tanner.
You wearing a little rainbow under that shirt? No judgment here. I mean,
anyways, for those of y'all who've been watching tonight, thank you so much for tuning in. For those of y'all who've been supporting us over the past few months, while we've been busy on the road, we appreciate the hell out of that as well. More to come from us here at the Throttle Out Show and the big ass crew house and getting our official studio set up. And our schedule's not going to slow down until probably the end of October, for being completely honest.
Yeah.
And hopefully we'll get back to streaming on a normal schedule. I mean,
we'll try when we're all here. We'll try to do one maybe at least once a week if we can make it happen.
Yeah.
Because depending on when trucks come back, the conditions. Sometimes we're at the shop for just a easily 8-10 hour day. Sometimes we're there for 16.
Well, and we've learned that we can't do a stream while we're on the road with our internet service, our equipment, all that stuff. It's just
There's
it's
no
not
time
gonna work.
either.
And there's really no time. So we'll get it figured out though in the future, and then for now we'll just be on here hit and miss. But thanks for tuning in tonight, y'all. Y'all, thank you for joining me tonight. And remember, when in doubt, put it to the floor and throttle out. We'll see you in the next one. Good night, everybody.